Headed in by Davina, coming up from behind.
Ball for Haran! Portland ahead by 2. A diving header and a beautiful goal! Nagasato! 2-0!
You're listening to the Her Football Hub podcast, covering the world of women's football.
Welcome back to Her Football Hub Stateside podcast. Once again, you are joined by your regular hosts, Kara Cutshaw and myself, Taylor Cuiava.
Hey, guess what?
What?
It's the final countdown. Are you hyped? Get ready. We're less than 2 weeks away from the Challenge Cup.
It seems too good to be true.
I know. And the best thing is we've actually been seeing all 9 teams hit the practice field for more than a week now.
And also, we have to say that the kits that they've been introducing are probably the most exciting part so far to this lead up.
That's right. They've been definitely stirring that excitement around. So in the last pod that we had put out, we talked about the Portland Thorns kit. Well, it did drop at the very beginning of May.
Yes, Portland Thorns. And they really stuck to that name with their jersey.
They really did. Every rose has its thorns. Or maybe it's the dark side of the rose. I don't know. Either one definitely describes this kit. Both home and away jerseys definitely pay homage to the rose and the thorn.
On the away jersey, you can see the thorn branches wrapping around the kit. And on the away jersey is the silhouette of the rose. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, both of them are really cool. And the black, the away one is black. So it really sticks out and you can really see the rose. But also, just because it's away kit, so it's white, obviously. But like the really definition of the thorn, I think it just makes it really cool.
Yeah. I always like kind of the darker jerseys, to be honest, but I think that one looks really good.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And then on each neckline of the kit, you can see the inscription of BAON, which stands for by any other name, referring to the fan-favored literary phrase from Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a cool addition.
Yeah, fun fact for those who aren't Thorns or Timbers fans.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So I think that was pretty fun. I had seen that when they did post the kit that they were talking about that. And I was like, what the heck is that? But I'm not really a Thorns follower or fan. So it was a fun fact to learn.
Yeah, I think I've seen that as a hashtag just from when like Orlando would play Thorns or even the Timbers in MLS.
That makes sense. Yeah. So it's really cool. They did actually add that to the back of their neckline of their kit.
Yeah, I like it.
So let's go down. So we had one that dropped down in Houston. So let's pop on down there. The Dash, they went a little retro on their away kit. The jersey was a salute to the Oilers' Love Ya Blue era. And Taylor, where's that Western music? Better be playing it.
I'll cue it now.
All right, great. Good. So the white jersey is nicknamed Love Ya Dash after the Oilers and features a thick Space City blue band across the chest that's flanked on the top and bottom by the thin line of that orange color that you normally see on the Dash's jerseys. So that stripe and all the retroness does pay homage to the Oilers, what they had on their pants and their helmets.
Yeah, and I don't really know a lot about the Houston Oilers because that team, it was around just a little bit when I was a kid, and then they relocated and rebranded themselves, so...
Yeah, I didn't really know much about them because they were obviously down there in Houston, but then they moved to Memphis and then Nashville in the late 90s and then soon became what is now the Tennessee Titans. So they moved up here to where I'm at.
Yeah, I think as a kid I had those classic NFL bed sheets that had every single helmet on it. And so I think that's my only like gateway to the Houston Oilers.
Well, that's a little bit more than what I had, so you're good.
Yeah, but I love how the Dash are paying tribute to the legacy of Houston sports, and that's exactly how their creative director, Juan Loya, put it. And as I alluded to in our previous podcast with Chicago Red Stars' new kit, that's kind of how it should be, paying tribute to the community while forging your new sporting legacy.
Right, because I was wondering when they had like the little snippets here and there, they were putting something out, what it was going to be. And then when I first saw it, I was like, okay. But I didn't really know any like history behind it or like what they were actually doing until like, you dive a little bit deeper and they had a little snippet about what it was actually, paying tribute to. So I'm like, yeah, that's really cool that they want to kind of connect the whole community and put that out there. So it's really awesome. If you haven't checked it out, that was released not long after the Thorns had put theirs out. So we'll go on down to the next kit. Man, and the feathers are flying. Another club that spread its wings and dropped their away kit as well was your favorite, Taylor, the Pride.
Yes, the Pride.
That's right. They were one of the newest additions to our fresh collection of kits. So it's the away jersey, which already kind of makes you think it's going to be white, but it's definitely fresh. It's clean and is definitely full of feathers.
That's right. The predominantly white jersey features an assortment of gray feathers on each sleeve, as well as a single black feather on the jock tag, which, fun fact, I never knew that actually had a term, jock tag, but that's the little kind of stitched in section kind of in the lower left corner of every jersey.
Wow.
So this is a call to the club's supporters group, known as the Black Swans Drinking Club. So it's kind of nice that they're recognizing their most loyal supporters. And overall, as a fan of the club, I'm happy that this kit had turned out the way it did, because it's just another example of a club taking pride, pun intended, in its community. So that's great. And also we'll be able to purchase a goalkeeper kit this time around, which are colored black and purple. So like I said, I do like the darker colors on jerseys, so that's an added bonus for me.
I remember the hype video that they put for it, and we were talking about like, oh, please live up to the hype, because it was so legit. And then they did postpone because of everything that was going on, but it didn't flop out on its hype. Like this kit is really nice, and like I said, you can totally tell the feathers, all the detailing and everything. It's spot on. It's really good.
Yeah, and I like the player pictures too that they release with it, so you get to see the goat with the feathers.
I was going to say that's a new like mythological creature going on, goat with feathers.
Her name's Marta.
Oh man, yeah, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool that you can actually purchase the goalkeeper kits as well. All right, well, North Carolina, baby. Today, Monday the 15th, they dropped their kit. Did you see it, Taylor?
I did.
It's a simple layout, but I do like the nice thin gold stripe that they have down on their new home kits. They did put out an away kit as well, and it is just the traditional white. I'm seeing a pattern here. All of these are just white.
Yeah, but I actually like the white kit because it's just black and white, and so sometimes with the white kits they have more of a grayscale look, so they would kind of like the Pride one, I guess, where you have the gray feathers in there. But for this one, it's just seriously black and white. Mm-hmm. And the crest, they even have like transformed into a black and white version of the crest, which is pretty cool.
Right, yeah. And we can't forget about the new addition that they put. It looks so nice above that crest, and that's those 2 stars.
Yep, 2 stars.
That's right. We're going to be adding another one here soon, maybe.
The dynasty.
That's right. Keep it going. But they did also release kind of a little peek into what their goalkeeper kit would look like, and it's red. So I don't know if there'll be other colors besides red, but it looks pretty sick. So if you could imagine, if you've already seen the Orlando Pride, their goalkeeper kits, how it's got that swirl kind of in the middle, and then the sleeves are just a solid color. That's kind of what this is, but it's red. So it looks sick. I like it.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of that kind of dark blue and dark red that the Courage have. So yeah, I think that'll be a really cool jersey.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So like I said, I'm not sure if they'll be putting out another one. That was just something they had posted this afternoon about the kit for the goalkeepers. But anyway, it looked pretty cool. All right, so we're getting close to the end of our kits that have already been released, but there's still a couple that are going to be announced, and one that I'm actually really looking forward to just because of those leaked photos I talked about in the last podcast, and that's Utah Royals. They said they'd be dropping their home kit on Wednesday, July 17th. And I'm not going to lie, I told you guys about the Royal title thing at the bottom of the kit, and I did not lie about that. The club actually said last week that was going to be their official sponsor on the back of their new kits, and that's the company. It's called Royal Title. I think that's kind of a convenience, right?
Yeah. I like how when a sponsor kind of ties into the theme of the actual club.
Exactly. And it even like I said, the crown looks just like the logo, and you guys can definitely go and see like those leaked photos. And even now, since they do have announced that sponsorship, they have the whole brand, like everything, like you can just see everything, and it looks just like the Royals logo. So it's like, wow, I think maybe this company was made just for this team.
Yeah, and that's the first jersey back sponsor in the club's history, so they'll be donned on both the club's home and away kits through 2024.
Yeah, so a good little addition for that, and also a long time to be sponsoring that.
Yeah, definitely. I like these bigger deals that we're seeing lately.
Yeah, it definitely helps our organization for NWSL kind of to grow. And since we had talked about a while ago when it was the championship last season about how they were asking for more sponsorships, and then that was when Budweiser was officially signed on. They were looking for more, even for big time names like that, or even just for the clubs. Like you can definitely see that's shining and coming forth.
Yeah, those commitments are crucial for the league moving forward.
And something fun to note, too, that the Royal Title is a woman-led organization.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was a fun little fact I learned, too.
Even better.
Exactly. So now we're only missing the Spirit Kit, the Sky Blue Kit, and also OL Rain for the new lineups for this season. But I'm sure they'll be popping up really soon. And then today, this afternoon, Twitter, the Sky Blue had alluded that they would be popping theirs along the way. So that will be happening probably sooner than we think.
Yeah, so something to look forward to.
Exactly. But before we start diving into the main fixture that we want to talk about, which is just breaking down the teams here on this podcast, is there have been a couple of announcements of players that will not be joining us for the Challenge Cup. And that's Megan Rapinoe and Kristen Press that had been released a couple of weeks ago. And then Kristen Press was just this past week. Are there more to join, Taylor? Do you know?
I'm sure there will be a lot more to join those two. There are players that are injured to begin with, so those lists will be coming out. But so far, there haven't been any big confirmations, any marquee players like Megan Rapinoe or Kristen Press. So all rosters will be finalized on June 21st, so we'll know for sure by then.
For real, yeah. And I wasn't sure when we had to have everything finalized, so it'd be good to kind of that's a week before that final push, so you can kind of see the ins and out of who is going to be in and who isn't. So what do you think about these clubs?
Yeah, let's take a look at each of them individually, break it down a bit. We'll kind of alternate with a kind of a quick fire approach at it. So
quick fire. All right, let's go. How fast can your lips move?
Not quick enough. I stumbled, as we can all know. But I'll get it going with Portland Thorns. So It's a very veteran squad that knows how to win championships. Plus, Becky Sauerbrunn adds into the mix.
Yep. I'm a little sore about that just because she was on the Royals and I like the Royals, but I think it's a totally good addition for the Thorns, as we had discussed, I think, in the last podcast.
Yeah, it adds that, like I said, it's already a veteran squad, so adding her to the mix does increase that whole winning mentality and the fact that they have so much experience on the field. So nothing but positivity for them.
That's true, yeah. So it'll be good to watch them moving forward as well. They do have their first match, I believe, is on the 27th. So that'll be something to kind of keep everybody's eyes on and see as they move closer to the start date. They'll be looking to play North Carolina Courage. So, but yeah, I mean, this team always comes locked and loaded, to be honest. Like they're awesome to watch.
Red Stars, go.
All right, cool. They're curless. Yes. So is that really going to affect anything since Sam Kerr is not on this club anymore?
Yeah, that's the big question, and really no one knows the answer to that. But they do have players that can step into that role, but not quite to that level of Sam Kerr. So really, do you think if they didn't have Sam Kerr last year, would they have made it as far as they did? Probably not.
Yeah, I agree. They do have really good midfield and wing players. So I think that still be able to carry them a long way. Maybe not as far as the semifinals as last year. But yeah, they have a couple of good signees that popped in. But also, yeah, Roy Dames is a great coach. So I'm sure he's already trying to figure out how to fill in those holes and also just utilize a lot of the people from the college draft that transpired too. So, I mean, as I think you had stated before, Sam Kerr wasn't the engine, but she did play a huge role in the attack. And then we do have Ohio that has stepped up there too. So,
yeah, like that team was already driven without her, but she was the finisher. So as long as someone can put the ball in the back of the net, then they should be fine.
Right, yeah.
NC Courage, a team with the best squad, depth, and I think they're certainly the team to be beaten by anyone else here.
You were right the first time. You don't need to say beaten. It's the team to be.
team to be.
Yeah, man. You're like, what are you doing?
No, they're the team to beat.
No, it's to be. Anyway, keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they won the last 2 championships and the last 2 shields, so they got a target on their back.
They do. Yep. But they didn't lose too many in the draft. And then just off season, kind of, just trading in general. There was a couple of names that did transfer out, but they did get a couple of good names as well from the college draft. So I don't know. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how Paul Riley will be able to hone that in and keep that same culture that he's had. But I honestly think that they'll come out very strong.
Yeah, they're kind of an interesting team because they don't really have like the one big ultimate star on their team.
Mm-hmm.
They got many very good players that are put together by a very good coach. And so just making little adjustments here and there each off season, they continue to be a dominant force in this league.
And I think that's I think what makes them click so well is because it is literally a team, like it isn't like that one person that is the star. Not that like, any of these teams aren't functioning that direction, but I mean, it's just saying in general, like as a team, that's the unit that you want to have. And that's what you want to see. So if you do have somebody out for injury or they do trade, like you're not in a big deficit. So yeah, Paul Riley is always prepared. And like you said, their depth is so great. Like on and off that bench, they're pretty good.
There's no I in courage.
That's right. So we'll go on down to Orlando. I have 3 words for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Riley, Sonnet, and more. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the player names. So we've got Allie Riley, we've got Emily Sonnet, and we have Jade Moore. So those are the 3 people that I'm really focusing on, and just for me in general to watch, because they're going to be bringing in a lot of more defensive stance that I think your favorite team possibly needed.
Yeah, they were always a defensively weak team. Not that they didn't have the really good players on defense, but I think they didn't have enough depth there too. So when World Cups or other things came along, they had to shake it up so much that they never really had consistency back there.
Mm-hmm.
But these players will allow that now.
I mean, you are missing Alex Morgan, but you still have Marta there in the midfield moving around, and I'm sure will make people, miss because she's the GOAT with wings. So
yeah,
I'm sure like with these three names that, like I said, I'm looking at, I think as a whole, Orlando will be the team that I think all of NWSL will be looking forward to, just because they are normally at the bottom of the barrel there, and they have those names and they've been shifting around, and I think they've been practicing probably the longest. Like I had seen so many individual like training sessions that was before any other team that was taking place. So I don't know. I'm not saying that's anything different, but it just seems like they might have their stuff all lined up.
Yeah, I think the back office of the team also has kind of gotten their act together this year, so that kind of helps them and keeps them motivated on and off the pitch.
Mm-hmm. And did you see the new photos they did of the training grounds?
Yeah, so their training ground was just revealed, and that's really cool how they have their very specific training ground right outside of Orlando, and that's what every team needs out there for the women's football.
Exactly, yeah. So that was a cool thing that I had seen today.
Now, Sky Blue FC. With Pugh, Zerboni, and Anumanu, this team has found itself a really good mix of players during the offseason. I don't expect them to do much damage during this particular competition, because I always thought even like if the normal season did take place, they were going to be kind of testing the waters during the first couple months. I do think that this competition is a good like starting place for them though.
Right, exactly, yeah. And those are the names that, especially Mal Pugh, like I remember when she had stepped on the pitch in that sky blue outfit, like Twitter exploded, Instagram exploded. I was like, yep, there she is. But she's going to be the one that's going to definitely, I think with the pairing of Carly Lloyd, that'd be great, because you already see it on the national team now. So adding her onto the club level will not only help Mal's experience moving forward, but also will help the club get that attacking force that they needed up top. And then, adding Zerboni in the midfield and on the wings, and then Anumanu the same. It'd be really good for them, because this is another team that is normally scraping the barrel too. So it'd be good to watch them kind of go through this tournament.
Yeah, and I think Pugh is one of those players that we haven't really seen her full potential. Like, we've seen certain games here and there where she does outstanding, but last year she was away for the World Cup and she didn't really get to play in the World Cup too much. And then when she did return, she had some outstanding games, but still, I think a competition like this where she can be kind of that star striker is going to be really good for her.
Right, exactly. Just for the development, I think it'd be good for her too, because she's still a relatively young player too. So,
oh yeah, definitely.
I think it'd be really good to put her on this and just kind of see how well she can shine, but also just learn, and that can be a good asset for the national team as well. All right, so we've got the dash. We're going to dash on down. So for this one, I'm thinking about the different pieces that they put together to have this complete puzzle. So the dash have had their off and ons during last season, even the previous season as well. So they have added both sides of the ball, good players. They got Katie Stengel, who was at the Royals. She's now moved over to the dash. She's a good attacking player up top. So I think that'd be good since Ojai has left. That addition will be able to help them see, that attack with Rachel Daly. Like, I think it'd be really good for them to have that connections. Then they added Brie Visali as well. So that midfield. So she's going to be really mixing it up. And this isn't her first time being back. She was over in the WSL, but she first originally started here in the NWSL. So it'd be good to have her. And then we moved Katie Naughton down as well. So they've added different sides. So it's attack, midfield, and defense to some of the players they've added this go around. But I think they're trying to find what is going to be their niche so that that puzzle can be completed.
And they're kind of a team that I like, similar to Pride, because they haven't always been the greatest. They've always been towards the bottom of the league. So they're one I always hope to see rise up a bit, and maybe a competition like this can kind of kick them into gear.
It'll be good to watch them as well, just to see how they will do. So,
and then if we move to the west a little bit, to the Utah Royals, they're actually the host of this whole competition, and they've got a new coach as well. And while they were kind of a hit or miss team most of last year, they do have a lot of potential, especially if you remember how they were during August of last year.
I think having them being the host is going to make them hungrier, because like you don't want to not make, you don't want to be that team that's out after the preliminary rounds. Like, you want to keep going. You want to make your stadium, in your state and your city proud. So you want to not mess it up. So I think they're going to be hungry to push forward. But yeah, Utah Royals, I mean, they're pretty good.
Yeah, without press, though, that kind of is a concern.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be a question mark, but they still have a lot of good signees that they did add as well. They, if you remember, Diallo came on, so there's still a little bit of unknowns for other signees abroad, but I mean, we do have Diallo that's there, and then just the teammates that they had previous to all the different signees. Like, it's a good team, so I don't imagine them not doing well.
Right. And like you said, they do have kind of that home game experience with them being the hosts. They'll be able to maybe work some magic and get a little higher up the rankings, I think.
Craig Harrington, their new coach, he has had like a lot of different, I don't want to say press conferences, but it's just like been a lot of different video footage speaking about the tournament in general, and then just about their new team and where he wants to take it. So I think it'd be a good thing for him, because on the last pod I had stated that he came down from the Red Stars. He was one of the assistants. So it'd be good to see him in this role, and he seems to be taking it by stride. And a lot of the different hype videos for the cup that they've released, with Lola Bonta, she was talking, and then they had Desiree Scott as well, just talking about how the energy is. So it seems like they're preparing, they're getting ready, not only for the team standpoint, but also for this cup. Like, they're ready. It might be that DJ show that we experienced, Taylor, at the She Believes. Who knows? They're full on ready to go.
Yeah, get the hype going.
That's right. So we'll keep on moving west, and we're going to talk about the OL Reign. I think they might be the only team, Taylor, that actually is taking advantage of the elevation altitude. So they were doing their preseason in Montana. I'm not sure if they still are or not. But that's something, when I first saw they were doing that, I was like, hey, that's very smart because Utah, the altitude is crazy there. So that's something that I think was a bravo job for the new coach as well, because they got a new coach for the rain. And then also they do have those international additions that came on. Shirley Cruz, Jess Fishlock is also ready to go. So there was a couple pictures of her and Cruz playing together. So that was comforting for all those rain fans. And then we also did add a Japanese signer, Mamiki, as well. So it'd be good to see her in the mix.
Yeah, they're a team that can do a lot of damage. I think I compare them a lot to the Portland Thorns because they do have kind of that veteran spirit to them. But I think they are also kind of shaken up a bit. New coach, Megan Rapinoe won't be there. So they're kind of in the same boat as Utah Royals.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that works out.
Mm-hmm. We'll just see, but they look like they're pretty well getting prepared.
Oh, hey, and also defender Alana Cook is heading over from PSG to play for the Reign. So that's kind of cool. It's just for this tournament, though.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting addition moving forward. Like, I know it's just for the tournament, but it's just interesting to see her name just pop up out of the blue.
Yeah, and for a lot of fans that haven't seen her because they don't have access to the French League, this will be interesting for NWSL fans to see Alana Cook in action.
Right, exactly. And I do know that the French League, they have been starting doing practices. So it'll be interesting if she'll be able to still participate with PSG or not. So I don't know. It'll be something to look forward to. And what a big surprise, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to see a player like that just pop into a tournament elsewhere and then possibly just go back to her regular club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm sure there'll be more news on that in the next few days as well, since that is kind of a new addition.
Yeah. And now we can jump all the way back to the East with Washington Spirit. This is a younger squad, and they have Brie Bledsoe, the league's best goalkeeper. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
And Rose Lavelle and Andy Sullivan round out the midfield. So this is probably one of my more curious teams to watch because I think they actually could do very well. They remind me more of Sky Blue as well because they have a good balance, but it's not really a marquee sort of balance, but it's something that I think could be very kind of take people by surprise in a way.
They didn't do too bad last season, so it will be interesting to see because it is a younger squad what they will be able to do. And yeah, I think a lot of eyes are going to be on that midfield. So Roosevelt and Andy Sullivan, I think they'll set the tempo for how this plan of attack will happen and just their leadership too with the younger players. And then of course, like we can't not talk about Bledsoe. Like she's a fantastic goalkeeper. So it'd be good to watch her hold it down back there.
Yeah, I think there's no question, and we probably both agree that she could probably come out of this competition with the Golden Glove.
I think that's what we both decided last time. Our picks lined up on that, at least.
Yeah, but where our picks did not line up were for the Golden Boot.
That's right. We all love a good competition. For those who are really competitive, you got to have a winner or a loser, Taylor. So
I have a bad feeling about this.
I don't think so. I think you know what's happening. It's a month-long. Yeah, you do. It's a month-long cup, so we've got to have something for the loser to do.
I suppose so. As a refresher from last time, I did pick Lynn Williams to win this Golden Boot.
You did, but we all know it's going to be the one that I picked, and that's Kristen Hamilton.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, we'll see about that. So should we let the listeners decide our fate?
I mean, yeah, we can post a poll on Twitter with different options so everybody can decide what the winner and the loser has to do.
So that means the fate is in their hands.
Yep. So we will be having a competition. So please go onto our socials, check out Twitter. We'll have a poll up for you guys just to kind of make it a little bit more fun. But I mean, it is a month long, so I don't know how many goals Lynn can score, but I know how many Kristen's going to.
I think Lynn could score many, many goals.
Okay. We shall see in less than 2 weeks now, 12 days, at least from Monday, right now. Monday the 15th.
Yeah, that's another thing, though, too, is we might have put ourselves in a bad boat with this, picking two players from the same team, because there's going to be a lot of squad rotation.
Well, that's going to be good, though, because that might be a fair advantage for you. I don't know. I think that is going to be something, too, like for all these games, because they're really close in comparison to when they are playing. Like I think it might be like a couple of days, like I don't know, between like 4 or 5 days, I think, before the next game happens. So rotations is going to be key for real. So I mean, we might be onto something. It might end up helping us in the long run, Taylor.
Yeah, like ultimately, if there was a third person that chose a player from another team, I think we would be beating that person. But hands down, it's gonna be interesting.
It will be, but that's what makes it all the wild.
Oh yeah, and really another fun thing too is that all these games will be available for people to watch on various different kind of broadcast streams.
Yeah, you can catch the games on Twitch for our international listeners, and then for the U.S. and Canadian listeners, it's going to be brought to you by CBS Sports Network, and then also CBS All Access starting on the 27th. So definitely check that out. The first draw will be Orlando Pride versus Chicago Red Stars, and then we'll have the North Carolina Courage versus Portland Thorns.
Yeah, so both really cool games. You have the champions going against Portland and the runners-up going against Orlando. So
exactly. And I did see that the CBS network is going to be showing the first day matches and then also the championship. I remember seeing something about the semifinals, but they're definitely showing the championship. So even if you have local cable, you can check out CBS. So you can watch that because it is the first for real major league tournament starting.
Yeah, I was actually going to just say that. It's the first league in America to get back and running.
Right. Great minds think alike, Taylor.
So that about does it for us today. Make sure to follow Her Football Hub through this cup as well, as we will be bringing you the latest information, match coverage, and perhaps some fun ways you can help to really kind of get in the spirit of the game.
That's right. I mean, come on. We're social distancing still. We can't actually go to the games, but we're going to bring you something super fun, probably a couple of super fun things that'll make you feel like all your fandom can just be released. And if that doesn't intrigue you, I don't know what will.
Precisely.
I mean, you just want to see Taylor scream, don't you? I want to, because I didn't get to see it at the She Believes.
I don't really scream.
Taylor, come on. Where's your enthusiasm, man?
I sit silently on roller coasters.
I don't... Oh, okay, well. What is wrong with you? That's okay. I don't do roller coasters, though, because I would probably pass out and die, so...
Well, that's a happy thought to end the
happy
podcast.
Thought. That's right. Oh, man. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and just wrap it up. This is Kara in Tennessee.
And Taylor in Wisconsin.
And you've been listening to the Her Football Hub podcast. And we'll catch y'all on the stateside.
Bye now.
Bye.